He pivots, like he moves to a different combination. Again, 1, 2, 3 to the body. Ramirez tries to retaliate. He's out of range. And here comes Barboza. Boom! Right hand. Beautiful. Okay, before we start this, let's get into Teofimo Lopez's super lightweight resume. 5 wins, 1 knockout. 1 controversial win. So we have the Pedro Campa win that was a return after losing to George Kambosos. And he just decided, you know what? Forget the lightweight division, we're moving up. And Pedro Campa gets stopped in the 7th round, rather. A lot of people low-key felt like Sandor Martin won this fight. I did feel like it was very close. And Sandor Martin, if he was a little more active with his hands, probably would have gotten the win there. Josh Taylor, that's one where he looked impressive. But Josh Taylor, arguably, like maybe at that point he was cooked. He was out of the ring for over a year, and you take in all that context, and it's like, okay, but Teofimo Lopez, that's his best performance in this weight class by far. Jermaine Ortiz, this is a fight that a lot of people thought actually could have been a draw. Some people were saying Jermaine Ortiz should have won. I didn't think he had active enough hands for that either, but that was a nothing fight. It was boring, and it was just like Shakur Stevenson versus Edwin De Los Santos in a lot of different ways. When guys move around and have movement and slickness in their game, they give Teofimo Lopez problems because he can't quite figure them out, but they also don't do enough to throw at him to really take the fight from him. Arnold Barboza Jr. is different. We'll get to why in a little bit. Steve Claggett in his last fight, he's only stopped 1 guy in this division, and honestly, he didn't get a knockdown against Sandor Martin or Josh Taylor or Jermaine Ortiz or Steve Claggett. So there's questions about his power translated to 140. Let's get into it. Teofimo Lopez, Steve Claggett, June 29th, 2024. And then after this, Arnold Barboza's win over Jose Ramirez. Claggett's a tough dude, just trying to push forward. Nice right hand from Teofimo Lopez there. Trying to get off the ropes. Nice little exchange here. Here's Steve Claggett. See, this is what Devin Haney didn't do. We talked about this in the Devin Haney-Ryan Garcia video because they're inevitably going to fight again. But Devin Haney wasn't doing this, blocking that left hook by Ryan Garcia at all. Ryan Garcia's left hand was way too fast. Steve Claggett, from short range too, like Teofimo Lopez reads this really well. Boom, there's a block, but boom, doesn't account for that right hand, or at least try to, because see his hand here, he just reacts too late. But that right hand got there from Steve Claggett. Boom! And then he lands a shot in return. Little uppercut there. Steve Claggett head gets a little low. Boom. And his hands were too wide apart. The guard wasn't tight at all. And Teofimo Lopez punches right through that. That's good stuff. Good exchange there. Nice left hook from Claggett. Still has Teofimo on the ropes, but Teofimo doesn't look bothered. He looks super comfortable just moving around here. Slips in a couple other nice shots on the inside. Fights his way out of the ropes there. He does this combination really well, actually. This is probably one of Teofimo Lopez's best combinations here. So Steve Claggett has that left hand up right around the guard. Teofimo Lopez goes with that right hook. And then pop, there's that uppercut. Nice combination there to pop Steve Claggett back and create some space. Does it again there. Steve Claggett was eating a bunch of uppercuts in this fight. The highlights here look good. A lot of people watching this were bored. I think there were boos, if I recall correctly. I think there were boos in this fight, but a lot of people were just bored by the action. Teofimo Lopez did a nice job there with the uppercut again. But I think people felt like he was coasting, and he kind of was. Maybe he could have stopped Steve Claggett, but not sure. It was a good showcase of his skill there. Hey, Freddie Roach, how you doing? All right, so we have over here, fast hands. Pop, 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 pop. Nice 1-2, 1-2. Back on the ropes. Claggett lands a nice shot. This is basically what it was. And against Arnold Barboza, it's not going to be this type of fight. It's going to be a different type of fight. It's going to be a tougher fight. As a matter of fact, let's mention now, Teofimo Lopez is minus 260 favorite, which is to say he's not that much of a favorite. Like that's a big favorite in basketball, but in boxing, minus 260 is not a ton. Arnold Barboza Jr. plus 194. Arnold Barboza Jr., though, is getting a better chance to win than a lot of Teofimo Lopez's most recent opponents. I think Josh Taylor was the last fight that was projected to be that close. You see continued good work here. Arnold Barboza Jr. absolutely has the skills to bother Teofimo Lopez, if not just straight up beat him. Here we go. Nice combination here from Teofimo. Right around the guard. Claggett responds. Doesn't have enough on these shots. He looked just comfortable in there. It looked like a very fun sparring session for Teofimo Lopez. There's another nice uppercut. He's a really nice uppercut, especially when he's able to get his legs into it. Just create that power, that leverage. Boom. That's beautiful. Boom. And Claggett tried to get that. See the left arm right here? He tries to get it out ahead of this uppercut on the shoulder, but he still gets popped with it. Wasn't strong enough. Teofimo Lopez had all the force behind that one. Claggett took it well, though. He stood in there. Teofimo Lopez tried to pour it on after. Claggett remained on his feet. He ate all of this, man. He's tough. He's a super tough dude. He has 8 losses, but he's only been stopped 1 time in his career. We have Arnold Barboza versus Jose Ramirez. Going in, Arnold Barboza, if I recall correctly, was a slight underdog. So I remember betting on him to win this fight by decision, and it was plus money. I was not surprised at all, that he took this. Arnold Barboza Jr., he beat Jose Ramirez. And the reason why we're looking at this and not the Jack Catterall fight is because Jack Catterall, different type of dude from Teofimo Lopez, like more different than Jose Ramirez is. Also a southpaw, but Arnold Barboza Jr., I think this is the performance that will probably translate a little bit better. 3 times in 2024, including the Sean McComb fight, which people hold against him, justifiably so, because that wasn't the greatest performance, and he probably got a gift on the scorecards there. But at the same time, he rallied to beat Jose Ramirez and Jack Catterall. So, I mean, I feel like he's kind of avenged that one. And you could look at the Sean McComb performance as a bad night. He's still undefeated for the time being. We'll see what happens against Teofimo Lopez, but he beats Jose Ramirez 96-94 on 2 cards, 97-93 on 1 card, and then Jack Catterall after that 115-113 twice, and a 115-113 for Catterall. I thought he clearly won both fights. Arnold Barboza's performance in this one was also, I think, surprising for a lot of people, how he sort of controlled this here. This was on the dubiously named Latino night card in Saudi Arabia, because everyone knows that there are a ton of Latinos in Saudi Arabia. But, you know, Riyadh's going to do what Riyadh's going to do. Okay. This is what I expected from this fight. Jose Ramirez trying to take it to Arnold Barboza, who would use his range a little bit more. Just like that. He eats a right hand there, but he figures this out as the fight goes. Like right there. 1, 2, 3 to the body. Takes a step back. Great use of range there from Arnold Barboza. Right hand around the guard. Jose Ramirez is not as sophisticated defensively as Barboza was. And there he gets popped with some. This is great. Great jab. Slips out of the way of that. Jose Ramirez had to be like this if he's going to win this fight. Just taking it to Arnold Barboza because he does have more power. Ramirez trying to take it to him still. That's a good right hand. Arnold Barboza just slips in there. It's a good right hand from Jose Ramirez. We're going to slow this down in a sec. Look at that. Look at this. So, okay, I let that run. Look at Arnold Barboza just constantly on the move. Just constantly on the move. Making Jose Ramirez work to get his shots off. Making Jose Ramirez maybe even second guess himself. Just moving side to side. Constantly giving him different looks. Winning combinations when he does decide to go. So here. Left hand gets in there, doesn't really land, but the right hand does. Boom, doesn't look the prettiest from this angle. Gets out of the way of that overhand left. And now we're back to moving. Winning exchanges. 1, 2, 3, unanswered. Oscar's there. He knows a little something about this. Jab through the guard. Doesn't land. Right hand doesn't get all of it. But the left hand, the left hook. Here it is. And that goes unanswered. Things like that, that's going to get you points from the judges. Judges are going to look at that and be like, all right, there's 3 punches, 1 or 2 landed cleanly, nothing came back. Exchange for Barboza. Now Ramirez is trying to respond. And right here, this is great. I wanted to stop it right before we got to that right hand because you can see how this gets set up. Ramirez threw a jab before this. Barboza, here we go. He pivots, like he moves to a different combination. Again, 1, 2, 3 to the body. Ramirez tries to retaliate. He's out of range. And here comes Barboza. Boom! Right hand. And now we're back to moving. Just great work. Beautiful. Again, he resets. We're here again. Ramirez is trying to set up his combination. Jab doesn't work out. Barboza can measure now. Jab. Boom. There's that right hand. And then over here, boom, left hook again. 1, 2, 3, this time to the head. Slips out of the way of a jab. And again, look at this. Trying to reach with that right hand. Barboza's comfortable at this range. He's already demonstrated that. Boom, counter left hook. Winning combinations, winning exchanges. Teofimo Lopez versus Jermaine Ortiz, figured why not pull it up. It gives you an idea of how Teofimo Lopez struggles with movement. If Teofimo Lopez is not on his game, he's going to lose to Arnold Barboza. If we see the best version of Teofimo Lopez, he's good enough to win this fight. But if we get the best of Arnold Barboza, which is closer to what we saw against Jose Ramirez, for example, and he's bothersome to Teofimo Lopez, and he gets in and out of range really well, and he has those stinging combinations, constantly moving, like that's going to really bother Teofimo Lopez. Like I think this could be a lot closer than people expect. And Teofimo Lopez, if you just look at his resume in this weight class, a weight class that Arnold Barboza has been in for longer and has beaten more guys, and if you look at his resume in this weight class, Pedro Campa is the only stoppage. Josh Taylor, I would say, is the most impressive performance, where it felt like Teofimo Lopez kind of put it all together over the course of that. But he struggled against Sandor Martin and his movement, struggled against Jermaine Ortiz and his movement, and Steve Claggett was Steve Claggett, all due respect. So Arnold Barboza, the Sean McComb performance was not a great one, but he's rebounded since with better performances against Jose Ramirez, a former champion in this weight class, and Jack Catterall, who at one point should have been a champion in this weight class and got robbed against Josh Taylor. So I think this would be a lot closer than people expect. And ultimately, the pedigree, the talent, all that rides with Teofimo Lopez. But Arnold Barboza is absolutely a live dog. And of all the underdogs on this Fatal Fury card, he's the one that has the best shot at winning by far. By far, not even close. And I think he can win this fight. I think Teofimo Lopez is a well-deserved favorite, but you've got to give Arnold Barboza a good shot at getting the upset here. That's all we have for this video. Check out the film study we did on rewatching Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia and parts of that, because they're going to inevitably fight again. And we'll have something on Naoya Inoue this week, along with more NBA playoff coverage that's coming as round one winds down here. And also follow me on socials and support the channel, because I'm doing everything myself. It is very, very hard, and YouTube don't mess with me like that. So we're trying to just get shit going. I'm kidding, of course, although I don't know. I think the algorithm doesn't really like me like that, but we're working on it. And if you got any things you want to see, let me know. We'll take care of it. All right, that's it.